Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ooh-wee! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Podcast Room 303, episode 213. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. As always, we have with us our co-host, Nick Morahan, our executive producer, EPE, and the real executive producer, don't tell Eric, Nevada Putnam is with us today. We'll be getting into pop culture pick'em, top 5 players to never win a title. We'll do a head-to-head review, a batting average update, and we'll get into the AFC South futures on today's episode. Before I turn it over to Nick to see how he's doing this evening, I just want to get your guys' opinion on this. That narrator is a real stand-up guy, huh, for our intro?
Yeah, he gets kind of annoying after a while.
That's really odd. I think he's swell. He has nothing but good things to say about me. So, how you doing this evening, Nick?
I'm good, man. It's nice to see Nevada is going the full Orlando Bloom over there. He's got the pirate mustache. I don't know what facial hair regulations Denver PD has, but Nevada, if I could get your supervisor's name, number, and email, I'm going to inform him that an officer of his department is not within facial standards.
And he's recording from
tell you to go eat my ass.
Well, I already do that, so I don't see what's the cup? Show me the cup. Now, so for those of you who don't know, the Putnams are famous for their random cups, and it can't get through never once has a member of the Putnam family been to Germany. And yet they have an Oktoberfest cup.
Absolutely.
Never once.
They've been to your local yard sale is what they've been to.
Yeah, listen, Greg Putnam and Candace Putnam, Nevada's dear parents, collect cups from places that they've never been and never will go. Because it requires getting on an airplane to go there.
I love how you just gave away their
Germany.
There's no roads to Germany. You just gave away their full government names. You want to give away their social and address while you're at it?
I mean, I can fire off their address right now. I know it. You can wake me up 3:00 in the morning. I'll know what Nevada's address is.
All right, how you doing this evening, Nevada?
I'm good. I went to Meow Wolf today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's like a weird, trippy art installation
museum. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild, but it was a good time. So other than that, I'm doing good. Second week of vacation, so can't complain.
Can never complain about that. How was Meow Wolf? Dope?
It was good. I think it'd be a lot better on some drugs, but, it's still pretty good sober.
The cop.
Oh, 100%.
All right, before we got to transition, before Nevada gets fired, how you doing this evening, Eric?
Doing good, man. Actually, since Nick brought it up, Nevada's parents have stuff from places they've never been. I want to ask a question of the podcast. So I ordered a map where you scratch off places you've been. So I'm traveling across the Atlantic tomorrow, and I'm landing in Munich. I'm only staying there for 3 hours. Can I scratch Munich off my list?
How many times have you asked me?
No.
That's bullshit, bro. I'm gonna be there.
That's not bullshit. You're not. You're just going through the airport.
You're not even on German soil. You're on international soil.
Right.
What if I run out and step out?
No. You have to spend the night there.
All right. If I get stuck, I'm scratching it off.
24 hours.
24 hours.
If you have not spent a full 24 hours somewhere, you have not been there.
No.
All right. Appreciate the insight.
I mean, I've been telling you no all month.
I just wanted to see, if I had differing opinions from our
I guess
303 family.
It doesn't matter, but Nevada does get a vote. Nevada?
No.
Yeah,
No.
good. Okay, good. Yeah.
All right,
My,
bet.
my guy
Mark
just wanted to
Johnson.
go to mom to see if he could get a yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Eric.
Dad said no. He was just like, well, maybe mom will say yes.
Also, Eric, so does it also have individual states to scratch?
Yes, it does have individual states to scratch off.
Okay, so you got like 3 places to scratch off then.
No, I got quite a few places to scratch off on me, but yeah.
And does it have the individual states of Mexico? Because you don't get all of Mexico for just going to Tijuana.
Okay, one, I have whatever. No, it doesn't have the individual states for Mexico. It just has the big ass country.
Okay, you don't get the whole big ass country then.
I've been all over Mexico, so that doesn't matter.
24 hours, Eric.
I've been all over Mexico, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Eric's got like what 6 scratched off on that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Countries.
Countries? No, I think I only have like 4, dude.
Japan, Canada, America from Rip.
Yeah, France, Mexico.
So why did you act like 6 was super far off from the 5 you just named?
This is the Price is Right, baby. If you go over, it's wrong. All right.
Yeah, I'm already counting Munich then.
All right, bet.
You can. I'll give you this, Eric. You can scratch off Munich.
All right, bet.
exactly.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find
you
the capital of Germany and scratch it off. Or not the capital.
Just
The capital of Germany would be Berlin.
Yeah. You're right. Whatever, dude. That's why I'm not going back after this stupid ass trip.
To where? Europe?
No, Germany. Just Germany.
You're not going to be in Germany. You're going to be in the Munich airport.
I'm actually have a layover to Serbia too. I was hoping to cross that bitch off too, but
Nope.
I mean we can move on from this conversation. You guys have scolded me enough.
Jermaine, how many countries?
Scolded. We were just talking about which country. Oh my goodness. Woe is you. Your life is so fucking difficult.
All the time.
Oh my goodness. I'm asking him what countries he's been to, but I'm scolding him. All right, let's fucking A.
Jermaine.
Now, fuck you, Eric.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh, Portugal, Spain, Latvia, and Norway. London. Well, not London. England. Diego Garcia, Seychelles, Singapore, Qatar, Bahrain.
Damn, you might have me beat.
Japan.
I stopped counting. I don't know how many that is.
Guam.
Guam ain't a country.
Seychelles.
You already said the Seychelles.
I did say, of course I said the Seychelles. Oh, Dominican Republic, Mexico.
That's good.
Canada. I need to go somewhere in South America. I ain't been to the south of America. The south of America.
The south of the America.
All right, and get us into the batting average update. It's looking a little sad now. Then we'll go head-to-head pop culture pick'em.
All right. Present. Let's get here. Here we go. Can you guys get a good view of that, or is it a little bit bigger? You know what? I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to ask.
A little bit more.
All right. So Luis is now down to 350. And Freddie Freeman is at 340. So it looks like my bet that Freddie Freeman finishes the season as the leader is tracking good. So we'll see.
Did you lock it in?
I put it in a sheet, but I didn't put it in the locks. So let me go add it to the locks right now. All right.
Look at that. Cody Bellinger, bottom 5, baby.
Dude, get out of my head. I was about to say, dude, the reason the Cubs are even close is because Cody Bellinger's hitting 320.
He's been playing lights out for us, dude. Justin Steele, Cy Young candidate. Cody Bellinger, MVP candidate. All right. Let's so that wraps up the batting average. We'll talk about head-to-head now. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so last week was week 33. Jermaine went 2-1. He put all 3 parlays in, so he hit 2 parlays, missed 1, putting him at 38 and 55 on the season, down 11.4 units. Fucking Nick hit a plus 380 home run bet, but he did miss on his two bets, putting him at 1 and 2. He's 36, 55 and 2 on the season at plus 2.5. I went 2-1. putting me at 36-57 and down 9.3 on the season. And Nevada went 1-2, putting him at 32-57-1, down 10.3 units on the season.
So close to the nuclear bomb hitting head to head.
Yeah, no one was scared.
It was just one home run, right? Because Castellanos and the homie hit. Crazy.
Not even Japan was scared this time, Nick.
No.
All right, let's get into head to head.
Pop culture pick'em, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Today's topic is top 5 players to never win a title. So we're going to go 20 deep. Nevada has the luxury, since he's not on here frequent enough to get first pick. Nevada, who you going 101 in the first?
1.01 is going to be Barry Bonds.
That's a good pick. Yeah. It's a good pick. I purposely stacked my my MLB because I knew that one was going to be picked. Great first pick.
So I have the second pick. Nick has the third pick, and Eric will double tap on the turn. I'll go ahead and take. Oh, man. I'll go. Eric, I'm gonna do it to you, bro. Nah, I'm just messing with you, dog. I'll take Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was gonna take Allen Iverson purely to fuck with Eric, but
that would have been a good one. I'm gonna go Cristiano Ronaldo.
World Cup, I'm guessing.
World Cup, you are correct.
Got it.
Deserve one anyway. All right, I'll go Allen Iverson, obviously, with my first pick.
It's because Eric is in Portugal. Is in Portuguese, that's why.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god, dude. We're doing these shenanigans again. All right, so I'm going to do Allen Iverson.
Ooh, so sensitive.
As my first pick, childhood hero. And then I'm going to go with...
Could have had one with the Nuggets.
I'm going to go with Randy Moss.
That's a good. Randy Moss is a good pick.
Damn,
this stuff is going away pretty quick. I think I'm gonna have to burn one of my good ones here. I'll go Ken Griffey Jr. For my second pick.
Damn.
Everyone's getting it.
Everybody picked all the good ones.
I'll go. Give me Dan Marino.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
This is like my fantasy football draft. Like everything's going.
AKA 1980s Joe Burrow.
Yeah, we're still doing that.
Yeah, that's my shtick for the next 10 years. Nevada double pick to you.
All right. Yep. I'm going to go with LaDainian Tomlinson.
Ooh.
Great pick.
That'll hurt my heart.
And
the 2007 Chargers didn't even make the playoffs, despite having the number one offense and number one defense.
Fucking bums,
I
dude.
don't know how they do that.
Landanian.
This one.
I was looking at it too.
All right, Eric.
I'll go with.
All right.
Third, I'll go with Tracy McGrady.
Oof.
That is damn, that one hurt. Tracy McGrady made me a little sad, dude. It's back to me, right?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that's you had to at least stab the knife in your own back.
One of us was gonna do it. Might as well take it now, huh?
Wait, who'd you say? Sorry, I spaced out.
Derrick Rose.
Of course.
I'll take Barry Sanders.
Fire pick.
I'm going to take, since he's up for the Hall, and I hope he gets in, I'm going to take Vince Carter.
Damn.
And then I'm going to follow that up with this. I just watched this sick-ass documentary, so I'm going to go with the
Tim
Dynamite
Tebow.
Kid.
No, sorry.
Who'd you go with, Eric?
Dynamite Kid. Yeah, should have won titles, didn't.
So with a fucking pro wrestler on this list.
What that? Well, we're not going to start that debate. But yes, these motherfuckers are athletes, and there's titles on the line.
I mean, maybe it's all fake anyway.
Let me hit you with a chair and see if
I
it's
will
fake.
pick. All right. Only if I get to drop you off a ladder onto a bed of nails.
Oof, that'll be fun. All right, go ahead, Nick.
I'll take Reggie Miller. I feel like Reggie Miller was like always there.
Solid pick. Yeah, Reggie Miller just happened to play against Jordan.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take right here Tony Gwynn.
Damn, dude. That's a great
bitch.
pick. That's a great pick, dude. I thought I was gonna get that till
To be
honorable
senior, right?
mention. Is there?
There is a senior and a junior. Eric just likes to be problematic with this. 'Cause
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn's his guy.
Oh yeah, I remember Tony Gwynn Jr.
He is a guy. Eric just likes to be problematic here.
Damn. Now I'm just storing players away for immaculate grid.
Yeah. It's our generation's.
Yeah.
It's our generation's crossword puzzle.
That's right.
Nevada, you got a double tap to round out your list here, brother.
Perfect. These last two are going to play almost 20 plus seasons. First one I'm going to go with is one of the greatest defensive players of all time, Bruce Smith. Lost the 90 Super Bowl, 91 Super Bowl, 92 Super Bowl, and 93 Super Bowl.
That might be one of the best picks, actually.
I mean,
And
do we 0-4 4 straight years? It's a pretty good shot, I'd say.
and then my last one, 24 years, Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb, that's nice. Weren't the Boston Red Sox were garbage when Ty Cobb played for him, weren't they?
I have no clue.
Never mind. He
I don't
played
know.
for the Tigers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't tell you, but
Ugh. Hey, baseball expert here, guys.
Self-appointed expert. All right, so it's back to me, and I'd be remiss if I didn't take a Chicago Cub. There's 108 years to pick from. So
I said that. Go.
So I was thinking of, Sammy Sosa is my guy.
Ooh.
Alfonso Soriano, although I'm not sure if Alfonso won with anyone else, but I don't think he did. But I'm going to go with Ernie Banks.
It's a good pick. I think the Cubs were trash when Ernie Banks played there. Also, I said the Tigers were trash. They made it to 3 straight World Series with Ty Cobb.
Yeah, Ernie Banks was on a terrible Cubs team, but at least he was amazing, bro. Peep this stat for you. Ready? Banks played most of his career on terrible Cubs teams that finished a collective 452 and a half games out of first.
those are Rockies numbers.
Wow.
He was so good. He was so good that he was twice the MVP on sub 500 teams. 6 of his teams finished with winning records, and his last 5 seasons were 5 of those 6.
Oh, Jesus. Back when he's like, I don't care about winning anymore. I'm just trying not to die. All right, so I'm going to round up my list. I tried to make go pick one from each sport as much as possible. This will probably appeal to Nevada and Jermaine, maybe. But my final pick, I'm going to go with Roberto Luongo.
Damn.
He's the only goalie in the top 5 wins all time who doesn't have a Stanley Cup.
That's a deep pull, dude.
He might be the only goalie who doesn't have multiple Stanley Cups in the top 5.
Did I spell that right? Luongo?
Hey, that a boy.
That is correct, sir.
That a boy. Check it. Take a look at Nevada's second pick then while you're at it.
Oh, yeah, I'll fix that in a sec.
Spells Luongo right. Friggin' Landanian Calrissian over there.
I just typed too fast, dude.
A former pilot of the Millennium Falcon.
Dude, also Jermaine's name, Jamian.
Whatever, dude. I was typing and moving fast, bro. Shit happens, man. Damn.
Yo,
Oh,
Maine
damn,
is a
thank you.
Maine is a 5-letter state in the U.S. You should never ever misspell that, my guy.
He wouldn't know. He hasn't been able to check it off his map.
That's just never
Oh,
been there. He doesn't know
damn.
how to spell it.
That's cold-blooded, Nevada.
We're in fucking minute 20 already getting callbacks to this episode.
All right, Eric, close it out for us, brother.
So I have two that I want to put here. I caught one at the end of his career, even though I think I should put him. I'm gonna go Steve Nash and make the other one my honorable mention.
I almost went Steve Nash like 5 times.
All right. What's your honorable mention?
Charles Barkley.
The round mounder rebound.
Yes, sir.
My honorable mention. I'm gonna go Karl Malone and Jerome Aginla.
Nah, dude, Karl Malone is a dirtbag. I'm glad he didn't win a title. John Stockton, though. John Stockton, that one hurt.
I feel like I have to say this. I agree that Karl Malone is a terrible person.
Yeah, he is.
I stand with Jermaine in calling Karl Malone a terrible person.
Also phenomenal at basketball.
I know Eric disagrees, maybe.
That's not. I 100% think he's a terrible person, you dickwad.
Show us your poster you have of him in your room.
Yeah.
It's not a poster, dude. It's not a
That's
poster.
right.
Why did you say it like it was something else?
It is something
It's
else.
not a
dude.
poster. It's a trading card, Jermaine. Gosh.
No.
Nah, it's a
Over my
life
vision board.
it's a life-size replica blow-up dog of Carl.
No,
Blow-up dog. Blow-up dog. Blow-up doll of Carl.
6 foot. I just have a
Dog with the
6'11"
face of
blow up
Karl
doll in my
Malone.
room.
Eric just needs 6'11", of man to hug while he's sleeping, bro. He just,
It's a Karl Malone
He big
body
spoons me, bro.
pillow.
He big spoons me.
Karl Malone body.
oh boy, did we read back the lists?
No, I can go through it. So, top 5 players to never win the title. Nevada had the first pick. He went Barry Bonds, LaDainian Tomlinson, Tracy McGrady, Bruce Smith, and Ty Cobb. Jermaine had a second pick with Ichiro, Dan Marino, Derrick Rose, Tony Gwynn Sr., and Ernie Banks. Nick with the third went Cristiano Ronaldo, Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Sanders, Reggie Miller, and Roberto Luongo. And I'll close this out. Allen Iverson, Randy Moss, Vince Carter, the Dynamite Kid, and Steve Nash.
Bro, do you know who Dynamite Kid is?
I just told you I watched a documentary on him the other night, and it's the first time I ever heard anything about him. And all I know is I saw Bret Hart and a bunch of other people be like, "This dude's the greatest of all time. He should have won chips."
All right, what's his name?
I don't know his name. They just kept calling him Dynamite Kid. I think it's like Paul or Thomas or something like that.
What about the generals from Globetrotters?
Oh, good point. The Washington Generals, titleless.
Yeah.
It is Thomas Billington, by the way, Eric.
Oh, there we go. See, it was in there somewhere, but they just kept calling him the Dynamite Kid.
Do you know
What a non-wrestling name.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he went by Dynamite Kid. Do you know?
Coming to the ring, Thomas Billington.
Do you know who his cousin is, Eric?
I do not actually. I didn't see that in the documentary.
Lord,
Is he a famous current wrestler or old famous wrestler?
Well, I mean, obviously old since they were cousins together.
Would it be one of
Dusty
the
Rhodes.
Hearts?
So he married into the Hart family.
He married into the Hart family.
Takes
I mean,
a lot of
that's-
heart to do that.
It's a dead giveaway.
Hmm?
Are you just not going to guess? Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog?
Yeah, I didn't know that was his cousin.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Just putting you on some inside baseball. Yep. Shout out to Hart Dungeon. Go ahead, Nick.
Speaking of documentaries, have you guys finished
No.
Swamp Kings?
No, I haven't even started it. No.
All right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I heard, and so my thing is the like everyone coming back. Yeah, everyone just pretty much said it's not what we wanted from that documentary.
Okay. All right. This is what I will say about the documentary before you watch it. We can get into specifics when you watch it. It should have been a 30 for 30.
Yes, what they put out should have been a 30 for 30.
It is. If I didn't know, so Untold has put out great documentaries. They are great at what they do. This fell way short of the mark. I know how successful Florida was. You don't have to remind me how successful the Florida Gators were. I want to know about all the other shit.
I want the in spite of.
Right. Right. 40. What's the stat? 41 players got arrested from that team. They mentioned
about, like,
they mentioned like Urban Meyer being like, and the whole thing is like the documentary looks like Urban Meyer giving a tour of all his houses. Like every different shot you see is Urban Meyer in a different glass house. You're like, Urban Meyer, you're rich. I get it. I understand. You friggin' got the you shot. Bars. Yeah. With bars of 20-year-olds on your lap. I would have been like, that's the documentary I want to see.
Yeah.
Bring in Florida co-eds and just have Urban Meyer be like, which one of these did you sleep with?
The thing that I took away from it, and not to give any spoilers, but like everything that was talked about, I knew. We lived through it. We fucking saw like the Tebow tears. We saw the championship. Like we knew all that. We knew Urban Meyer turned his head really far the other way when shit happened, but they did not go into any detail. Whatever, dude.
Well, because you look at the cast that they have, and it was basically Urban Meyer jerking himself off the whole time.
And
like, yeah, I did push him really hard, and they did respond because I'm such a good football coach. However, episode 2, # Riley Cooper sighting.
Yep.
And that's okay. So Jermaine, watch it. I think I still got it. I think I got like 2 episodes left.
That doesn't make me want to watch it. Everything you just said makes me not want to watch it.
Can I say one thing that I saw in the documentary that made me
thank you for asking.
All right, bet.
Yeah, what, Eric?
So they talk about Urban Meyer, how he turned his head the other way, and then it comes back to him and they ask him about it. And one player that he cut in his lifetime ended up like going back to the streets and dying. So he talks about it like, I will never kick a kid off the team, like, because they send them back to the streets and then they die. And it's like, or you're just hiring murderers to try to win national championships. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. But whatever. Fucking Urban Meyer, punk ass motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean it's okay, here's the thing. So far I've watched a couple of Untold documentaries, and there seems to be a common theme of like taking these guys who are bad characters and basically telling their story. But what I've learned is that they haven't really learned anything. So I think Untold the documentarians might be trolling these guys. Because I got done with this. I've been watching this Florida documentary. I watched the Johnny Manziel one. I'm like, man, these guys haven't learned anything. I don't like. I like Johnny Manziel less now. I think I told you guys on the podcast after watching it. He's still worth $7 million. Of course, he hasn't learned anything.
Yeah, I don't like him. I'm actually just never a fan. So
Urban Meyer has 25 houses. Of course, he didn't learn anything.
25.
Yeah.
Every shot, he's in a different house.
Urban Meyer, you know what we got to look into? How much money Urban Meyer really walked away from the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Urban Meyer.
Because I'm pretty sure they still have to pay those contracts even after firing them.
Well,
they buy him out.
His up-to-date net worth is 35 M's.
Yeah, it's not as much as I thought it was.
It's a lot of M's, dude.
Okay, so he hasn't been paid anything by Jacksonville yet because they're
litigating.
Well, yeah, because they fired him for cause.
Oh, so they're trying to not pay him.
They're trying to not pay him. He had $50 million. He had around $50 million left on his contract. Ooh. So $50 million remaining on his contract. Shad Khan said Meyer was fired with cause in Khan's eyes, but Meyer's legal team disagrees. Several months later, the contract dispute has been unresolved.
Well, shocker, Urban Meyer disagrees. He thinks he should just be able to kick people.
Right.
A $50 million kick.
Except kicking people off the team, because then they go to the streets.
I mean, maybe he misunderstood what the role of the kicker was. Maybe he has a history of kicking kickers because he just thought, that's the role they fulfill on the team.
That's why their position was called kicker?
Exactly.
Oh, it's interesting.
You know what? Free Urban.
He's just a tortured soul.
# free Urban, bro.
He's just tortured soul in his...
Oh, Bible. Oh.
Tortured soul in his 95 houses.
Damn, I thought Cody had that. Sorry. Watch the Cubs game. For those of you listening and hearing my grunts. Big time series. Anyways, so that wraps up our. Actually, no, it does not. I'm gonna pause here and turn it over to the dual executive producers. And Nick, they have a little game for us that I don't really know much about. So hopefully they've hashed out the details before we got live.
Good. So after they talk, we'll know even less. Gentlemen, over to you.
All right, Nevada, do you want to explain it, or do you want to just give them a simple explanation here, see if they catch it?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain? You just ask Nevada if he wants to explain it or he wants to explain it.
No, or does he want me to do
Gave
it?
him the same.
No, I didn't. I said,
different.
did you guys not hear? Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it to them simply?
No, you did not say. Or you said, or do you want to explain it? So you said, Nevada, do you want to explain it?
No. All right, go ahead, Nevada. Let's just get this done.
All right. So you guys may have seen it. It's a kind of an interesting concept. It's basically called the blind five. So you have to rank whatever the category is. There's 5 entries in that category, and you have to rank them, and where you put them is where they stick at. So, say, for example, the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and first one is out there is Marino, and you put him at 2. He's stuck at 2. Everybody else has to filter in 1 through 5. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm not sure. Nick, did you catch that?
No, explain it again. Sorry, Kane. Of course, because nobody can be calm.
So
explain this again.
Yes. So the category will be presented to you and Jermaine.
Okay.
5 entries in that category. You're going to rank them 1 through 5. But as soon as you put somebody in a slot, say like number 2, nobody else can jump up and be number 2. So you can't
won't
go
know
back
the category
and
in front either.
Okay.
We won't know the category. We won't know the list of 5, but we have to order these players or people in a list of
Correct.
5.
So it's just going to be, here's the category, and just one by one, and you have to decide, is that a 1 through 5 spot?
Okay.
Is there a right or wrong order?
No, it's just.
No.
I mean, you have to be careful with how you do it, because I could throw a curveball at you guys and put like Geno Smith in there, like, you know what I mean. So you just got to be careful on how you do that. All right.
Why is Geno Smith getting slandered?
Because he's not one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and it was just the first name that popped in my head, to be honest with you.
Top 5 fantasy finish at that position.
Okay.
He could be.
And I traded him away for fucking Les Ride.
You said peanuts. Let me get some peanuts. Ice cold beer.
All right. So I'm not going to give you any. I'm just going to start with the first entry here. So I'm going to go Zombieland.
All right, Nick. What do you think? What do you think this question they're asking us is? We're going to work together, right? We have to.
Yeah, you can work together. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So Zombieland's the first one.
You guys picked this category?
Nevada and I have made a list of different categories and 5 different
It's
ones.
Woody Harrelson movies.
So that was my first.
Get out of my head.
Was Woody Harrelson. Second, I was thinking 2000s comedies.
Ooh.
And it can't be.
I think with either of those, we're pretty solid ranking it like 4 or 5.
Dude, I love Zombieland though, but 2000s comedies are stacked. Let's
Right.
go.
I'm good anywhere 3 to 5.
Let's go 5.
Okay.
Zombieland 5.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Shaun of the Dead.
Zombie movies. I love Shaun of the Dead. It's one of my favorite movies.
Shaun of the Dead is very, very good. What's the Hot Fuzz is the police one,
Hot
right?
Fuzz is so funny. Man, if it's
zombie movies, Shaun of the Dead moves up for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad zombie movies.
I say 2 or 3 because if 28 Days Later is on this list, that's the number 1 zombie movie.
And my thing is if it's zombie movies, the list is already wrong because Zombieland is better than
Right.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I disagree with you, but
I'll go 4.
I would say 3. Let's say 3.
All right, 3. 3 it is.
Shaun of the Dead at 3. All right, next we're gonna go The Crazies.
I've never seen that movie.
5.
You already got Zombieland at 5.
4, I guess.
4, I guess. I don't even know what the hell. Who's in that movie?
I've only seen it once when I was a kid and I hated it. So, because
what's it about?
It's the story where all the water gets infected and the town slowly turns into zombies.
Oh,
that sounds
You guys haven't
awful.
seen that?
Why is that on this list? That sounds like an awful movie.
It's all like, we do what we want.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm just saying you picked a.
That just tells you the quality of zombie movies. Did we just rank the best 2 zombie movies way too low?
They gave us option 3, and it's a movie we haven't even seen.
One of them is going to be a romantic zombie movie. I know it is. I'm going to have to put it number fucking 1.
It's
going to be like.
It's that what's the movie that came out like 5 or 6 years ago?
It's gonna be like where he turns into a human because he loves her or something.
Oh yeah, that movie looked terrible.
Dude, you guys are gonna make me put it 1. You sons of.
Is it Zombieland sort of got a romantic side to it?
Maybe. What's your next pick?
Next pick is gonna be 28 Days Later.
Yeah, it's number 1 for me.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Zombieland is a love story because of Woody Harrelson and Twinkies.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, 28 Days Later is not a zombie movie. Again, it's an infection movie.
Okay.
And it's amazing.
All right. And then lastly, at your number 2 spot, you guys have World War Z.
That's not a bad list. That's not a bad list.
I hate it. I haven't even seen one of these movies. Actually, I haven't seen World War Z either.
Now,
I walked out of that.
I didn't expect that. I'll try to like do the most, like when I do movies and stuff, I'll try to do the most common ones. I thought The Crazies was a common one. I remember there's a scene with this dude has a pitchfork and he's like stabbing this dude in the neck. It fucked me up when I was a kid. So that's why I hate that movie. But
just get like 1 or 2 extras in case we haven't seen.
All right, good talk. I'll make sure I add extras just in case.
Yeah,
and then if you're going to add extra or get 6 of them, and give us an honorable mention category.
Yeah. So let us know if you guys have seen The Crazies and if it's good enough for me and Nick to go watch.
Yeah.
So
Now,
we'll Netflix. Zombieland should have been higher up.
Yeah, Zombieland should have been higher up. Yeah.
I would have probably put I would have put Crazies 5, World War Z 4. I mean, Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead are pretty comparable. Zombieland 3, Shaun of the Dead 2, 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
If I had known the list.
Yeah.
That's
fun. That's fun. That's good.
I'm starting to see like images in my head that maybe I worked at the movie theater when The Crazies was out.
I think you did, bro.
I think I know what movie you might be talking about.
I remember. I just looked up the poster. Timothy Olyphant's in this?
Yeah.
I think I know what movie you're talking about. I don't think I've seen it though. Or I've seen like.
Did you say Timothy Olyphant?
Yeah.
Best gunslinger in Hollywood, dude.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
HBO Max.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I ever watched this movie, but.
Yeah, I remember. I knew this is.
Yeah, I'll definitely add honorable mentions for the future.
I've seen this poster before. Yeah. Oh, I've heard of this movie at least.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
I probably have watched it.
Well, I watched so I had to do like theater checks. So I'd walk in and check to see if people were on their phone or whatever. I really watch movies.
Yeah, 100%.
I really just watch movies. I started getting comfortable towards the end. It was like, well, when I would walk in, I would just sit in an open chair. My broom and dustpan would be right next to me, and people would come in and grab me.
If you're a movie store manager, you have to allot for that time, right? You're hiring teenagers; they're gonna be high and they're gonna watch movies. That's built into your workforce. You're not a good movie store manager if you're like, where are my teenagers? They're smoking out back or watching the movie. Go find them.
Why aren't they taking their career seriously?
Right. This is the one movie theater in like 25 miles. They're gonna be okay.
All right, so that wraps up Blind 5, first ever on this podcast, Blind 5. Today's topic was what, top 5 zombie movies or 2000 zombies movies?
It was zombie movies. We didn't necessarily get the top ones of all time. We just got 5 random ones to, try to mess with it a little bit. So we'll get more lists, we'll get more stuff coming, and hopefully we can get a good flow with it, and then it'll be a nice little segment we got.
What's the oldest movie on that one?
28 Days Later is old.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sorry.
I thought Shaun of the Dead would be the oldest.
What's the newest one? So 2013 World War Z is the newest one?
Probably. Unless Zombieland came out after that.
Zombieland was 2009.
28 Days Later was 2002. Shaun of the Dead was like 2006. Oh, 2004. Shaun of the Dead.
All right, I was just curious. Let's go ahead and get into today's main topic, the AFC South Futures, the penultimate of the 2023 NFL Futures Showcase that Room 303 is going with. Jacksonville Jaguars are projected to win this division by a long run. Can you scroll that real quick so I can see the Jaguars line?
Yeah, zoom into, please.
to listen to him.
There you go.
Is the Jaguars not on there?
Why isn't it? There it is.
There it is. Okay.
I can't see the Are the Jaguars in frame?
So Jacksonville finished 9-8 last year. That's good enough for first in the division. Tennessee Titans rounded out the order at second, 7-10. Colts 4-12-1. Texans 3-13-1. And it's not going to get any better. Without further ado, give us the odds for the first team, Eric.
So Jacksonville, Super Bowl odds plus 2,500. To win the division, they are the favorites at minus 155. To make the playoffs, minus 195. To miss, plus 165. And their line is set at 9.5.
All right, sweet. So I'll go ahead and read off some of the departures, arrivals, and draftees. Departures for the Jaguars: running back Darrell Henderson, wide receiver Marvin Jones, tight ends Dan Arnold, Chris Martinez, tackles Blake Hansen, Jawan Taylor, edges Arden Key, and Dwayne Smoot, D lineman Corey Peters, and cornerback Shaquille Griffin. Arrivals: quarterback CJ Beathard, running back Dearness Johnson, tight end Evan Ingram, tackle Josh Wells, D lineman Michael Dogby and Adam Gotsis, D lineman Roy Robertson Harris, cornerback Trey Herndon, and safety Andrew Wingard. In the draft, Jacksonville Jaguars found themselves flush with picks. First round, Anton Harrison, tackle out of Oklahoma. Round 2, they took Brenton Strange, tight end, Penn State. Round 3, take Bigsby, running back, Auburn. Round 4, they took Ventrell Miller, linebacker, Florida, and Tyler Lacey, edge out of Oklahoma State. Round 5, Yasir Abdullah, edge out of Louisville. Antonio Johnson, cornerback, Texas A&M. Round 6, Parker Washington, wide receiver, Penn State. Christian Braswell, cornerback, Rutgers, and Eric Hallett, the second, safety out of Pittsburgh. And in round 7, they took Cooper Hodges, tackle out of Appalachian State, Raymond Vahesiak, defensive tackle, North Carolina, and Derek Parrish, edge out of Houston. My goodness, it's like a whole new team they drafted.
So the Jags open up week 1 at the Colts. Then they play technically 4 home games, but I'll explain why it's technically 2 home games versus the Chiefs versus the Texans. Then they play the Falcons and the Bills in London. Sorry. So they play them in London. They play the Falcons in Wembley, and they play the Bills in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So I assume that they would stay out there over week 4, week 5, assume that they would stay out there. Then they play another home game against the Colts, 2 road games, Saints and Pittsburgh, week 9 bye week, 2 home games, 49ers and Titans, at the Texans versus the Bengals, at the Browns versus the Ravens, at the Buccaneers versus the Panthers, and at the Titans to end the year. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this schedule?
Nick, real quick, I have a question. Since they're going to Frankfurt, did they get a mark off Germany on their map?
Well, they're not going to Frankfurt, technically. They may fly through Frankfurt, but yes, they are staying 2 weeks there, so they get to mark off the entire country of England?
Of England?
Thank you, Nevada. Great question.
Great question. I think it's a pretty great schedule for a first place team from the year prior.
Oh shit!
I think they benefited greatly from drawing the NFC South this year. Right, that's literally a toss-up division in its own right. Saints, Panthers, Bucks, Falcons, something came over me. Falcons. But they do play the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals. That's part of their first place finish. And they have the unfortunate circumstance of drawing the AFC North as their AFC division this year, which is arguably going to be the most competitive in football. And, the Titans were awful last year and still won 7 games, right? They got hit by a ton of injuries. They added DeAndre Hopkins. So I would say it's not one of the worst schedules I've seen. It's not one of the best, but this 9.5 line is as perfect as you can set it. Go ahead.
I would disagree. I'm hammering the over here for Jacksonville. I think Indy got worse. I know it's not possible. I think Houston got worse. I know it doesn't look very possible. I don't think Tennessee is better. They may be the same. And those collective energy funnels it all the way up to the top. Jacksonville. I do agree 9.5 is a great line.
I'm just saying Houston and Indianapolis won 4 and 3 games last year, respectively, right?
Yeah.
But they are adding the 1 and 2 overall picks to this division. Both quarterbacks, both important divisions, right? Houston, new coach. 2 and 3. Who's number 1?
Panthers.
Oh, yeah, the Panthers don't count. And they added new coaches as well, right? So DeMeco Ryans, first-year head coach for the Texans. I forget which one of the Eagles. Steichen, right? Steichen. He took over the Colts. I think these teams are going to be much more competitive than people give them credit for.
You've convinced me. Houston Texans Super Bowl odds. Give it to me.
No, what I'm saying is I don't think they got worse, right? The Colts no longer have to start one of Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Ellinger, right? Like they don't have to start those guys anymore.
That's incredible to say those first 3 names and say they don't have to start those guys. Which is incredible.
So they don't have to start them, right? Like we've been through the General Mills experiment down in Houston. We don't have to do that anymore, right? There's young wide receiver talent on the outside for both these teams. There's young running back talent. Well, RIP Jonathan Taylor. Who knows what the hell's going on there? So I would just say I don't think they're worse, right? But I'm gonna go with Nick. I think by nature of playing in this division, that over 10 wins is kind of gifted to them. I'll have them as well to win the division, and obviously, yes, to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of go through here. Jacksonville is the only team that wins the division. That's reflected in the -155 line. I don't have anybody else making the playoffs. So that's pretty much it. I do, shockingly enough, though, have a surprise as we move through these teams.
Okay. All right. So Nevada, thoughts on Jacksonville? You have the over?
I do. I have the over as well. I'll get a couple of things. I don't know. I didn't hear it when you're rattling it off, Jermaine, but they also have Calvin Ridley.
They added him. They added him last year, so I guess that's why he's not on the list. But that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So hopefully he bets on his overs because I think he'll do well there. The second year with Dougie Peterson, who's done well. Obviously, we saw what he did with Philly and Carson Wentz. I mean, basically made Wentz into an MVP. I think the biggest thing going for him, kind of like what you guys have already mentioned, is their schedule. Obviously, their division's probably the weakest one in football, but their hardest games are pretty much at home. The only one that's away is Buffalo Bills in Week 5. Other than that, They have the Chiefs at home. They have the 49ers at home. They have the Bengals at home, and they have the Ravens at home. So I think they could go 3-2 or 4-1 with those. Obviously, the Bills in Buffalo is going to be tough, but at least it's early in the year. So, but yeah, overall, I'm definitely going to take the over.
And it's overseas, that Buffalo game.
Yeah, the Buffalo game is
that one is okay.
Yeah, that's our second game in jolly old England.
Ah, very well. Yeah, over.
Cool. All right, so the second place team from last year was the 7-10 Tennessee Titans. Give us their odds, Eric.
Yeah, so Titans Super Bowl odds plus 8,000 to win the division plus 350, to make the playoffs plus 250, to miss the playoffs minus 300, and their line has been set at 7.5.
7.5. All right, so bear with me as I get through these departures. They lost about half their football team. So you can go ahead and hit that little convenient 15-second forward button if you don't want to hear these departures starting now. They lost quarterback Joshua Dobbs, running back Dontrell Hilliard, wide receivers Chris Connolly, Cody Hollister, Robert Woods, tight ends Austin Hooper and Jeff Swaim, tackles LaRaven Clark, Taylor Lewan, guards Dennis Daly and Nate Davis, center Ben Jones, edges Bud Dupree and DeMarcus Walker, D linemen Mario Edwards Jr. and Kevin Strong, linebackers Dylan Cole, Zach Cunningham, David Long, Terrell Basham, cornerbacks Lonnie Johnson Jr., Greg Mabin, Terrence Mitchell, safeties Andrew Adams, Joshua Kalua, and kicker Randy Bullock. They added wide receivers DeAndre Hopkins and Chris Moore and Nick Westbrook-Akine, tackle Andre Dillard, guard Daniel Brunskill, center Corey Levin, D lineman Arden Key, linebackers Aziz Al-Shiari and Ben Neiman, cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting, and long snapper Morgan Cox. In the first round, they added Peter Skoronski, tackle out of Northwestern. In the second, they added Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. In the third, they added Tyjae Spears, running back out of Tulane. In the fifth, they added Josh Wiley, tight end from Cincinnati. In the sixth, they added Jalen Duncan, tackle out of Maryland. And in the seventh, they added Colton Dowell, wide receiver, Tennessee Martin.
So these Tennessee Titans open the season at New Orleans, then versus the Chargers at Cleveland, versus Cincinnati at the Colts. They played Baltimore in jolly old England, a week 7 bye versus the Falcons, then 3 straight away games against the Steelers, or at Pittsburgh, at Tampa Bay, at Jacksonville, 2 home games against the Panthers, against the Colts, at the Dolphins, home against the Texans and the Seahawks, at the Texans, and then they end the season versus Jacksonville. Thoughts on this schedule, gentlemen?
I don't think Tennessee can be upset. First glance. Oh,
Yes.
man. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't think it's a terrible schedule. I think the team's just kind of lackluster. For me, 7.5 is the line. That's a tough one. I have the Titans just barely sneaking over, mostly because of the way they play, where they're just going to muck it up and grind it out as long as Derrick Henry is healthy. So I don't see much for this team. Obviously, I don't see him in the playoffs, certainly not for the division. But yeah, the schedule's all right, but I'm not thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first, I'm going to say before the bye week is going to define what kind of team the Titans are, right? You have a relatively easy schedule after the bye week, right? You have Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Tampa, Carolina, Indianapolis, Houston twice. Like, those are winnable games, right? But at the Saints, at the Browns, at the Colts divisional game, against the Chargers, against the Bengals, against Baltimore overseas. I mean, I don't think any of us would be shocked if I said that's the Tennessee Titans with their roster, the players that they have. If they're going full in on this Will Levis project, they could be 0-6. if they stick with Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback, they could be 0-6. Right? It's not outlandish for me to say the Titans are 1-5 or 0-6 going into their bye week.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I also think that we're way lower on the Titans that we should be.
That being said,
I'm going over.
I
think everything that could possibly be bad with the Titans has been experienced. Ryan Tannehill had no offensive line and no wide receivers because they traded fucking AJ Brown last year. And then they drafted Will Levis, and nothing good is coming out of camp on Will Levis. Ryan Tannehill is going to be the quarterback this year. Derrick Henry is going to be balling this year, as usual. DeAndre Hopkins has still got juice as long as the quarterback can get him the football, which I think Ryan Tannehill has. And we're in year 2 of Treylon Burks, who's practicing already. I think this team is significantly better, but the stink of last year we can't get past. I love this 7.5 line. I think it's an outstanding bet. I will take Tennessee to be 8-9, to maybe eke out 9 wins, be above 500, but miss the playoffs.
I think you're completely right. Mike Vrabel has been a coach of the Tennessee Titans for 6-7 years now. You don't coach that long in the NFL if you don't know how to find success, right? If Derrick Henry is healthy, right? This is a little foreshadowing for the props. If Derrick Henry is healthy, they don't need a quarterback. Derrick Henry has proved that he can go for 1,513 touchdowns regardless of who's handing him the ball.
So I agree with what you're saying, but I just want to put this out there. I just read this today, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of this for your picks. An NFC executive came out today and said that the Titans O-line might be the worst O-line put together heading into a season that he's seen in the last 10 years. They're going to be dead last, he thinks.
So what you just, let me flip this on you, Eric.
Mm.
Unnamed executive.
Yeah, I mean, they do that all the time to protect people.
Unnamed executive is one of the other 31 guys that's competing against the Titans.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry has had this offensive line for 3 years.
No, he lost his entire offensive line in this summer. That was literally like you
They
read.
didn't
Jermaine,
have an offensive line last year.
The offensive line was trash last year, yeah.
And he still ran for 1,500 yards.
Was this the Arizona Cardinals executive?
trying to deflect.
Look. Listen, Eric, I get what you're saying, and that's it may
matters. It matters.
It matters. But there's about 10 good executives in the NFL.
Yeah,
there's about 20 of them that are bad. My guess is that they got the one who's most willing to give an interview, and that's the 20 bad ones. So shut up and worry about your own offensive line, Arizona.
There is the possibility that the offensive line sucks, but there's also the possibility that their coach can coach up an offensive line to make them serviceable.
Is Ryan Tannehill the most Teflon quarterback in the league?
no.
I mean, he gets to go from Miami to Tennessee. He gets King Henry every single year. They draft his backup last year in Malik Willis. Doesn't work out. Now they have Will Levis. It ain't working out. And he's still just sitting there collecting 15, 20 million a year, just handing the ball off.
As is podcast tradition.
Ryan Tannehill didn't have a good offensive line in Miami, has had a good offensive line with Tennessee, I think maybe 1 year. So
Ryan Tannehill has made $168 million in his career.
Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback. Yeah. I think he gets a raw deal everywhere he goes, personally. But Will Levis is not a factor. Malik Willis is not a factor. Those guys are not their long-term quarterback answer.
Whoa.
And maybe they throw the ball more to Derrick Henry. So the biggest concern is, I think maybe Eric, you told me this, or maybe I just read it, but running backs who have over 320 touches, the next year they always get hurt.
0 in the history of the NFL. Running back that has had over 300 touches the following year does not play the full season. It's never happened. And they always have a numbers drop. But I'm assuming that has to do with them probably not getting 300 touches again and also missing games.
Derrick Henry, 349.
Nick Chubb. Look up Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb had like 330, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little tidbit for you.
301.
I think. Maybe we. Well, hold on. How many receptions did he have?
Oh, are we considering? He had
26,
27. Yeah, so 329. Sorry, yeah, 329.
Yeah, and so that those are concerning variables. I don't bet based on injury. Like
Derrick Henry had 33 receptions.
And
my man's was out here 382 touches.
They're talking about throwing the ball to him more. So, long story short, I'll take the over. No to make the playoffs. No to win division. And obviously, if they don't make the playoffs, fuck no on the Super Bowl. This whole division, just book all 4 of them no in the Super Bowl. Although if Jacksonville wins, that'd be tight.
I was gonna say, Doug Peterson cut his own son today, so he might have been sacrificing to the gods for the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
Oh shit! How come you didn't lead with that, bro? All right, let me sprinkle a little money at plus 2,500 for the Jaguars, dog.
Super Bowl, every Super Bowl loves a good blood sacrifice. Tale as old as time.
All right, third place team last year is 4-12-1 Indianapolis Colts. Give us their odds, Eric.
Super Bowl odds for the Colts is plus 10,000, to win the division plus 600, to make the playoffs plus 360, to miss the playoffs minus 450, and their line has been set at 6.5.
All right, so this should be a lot shorter. You can still hit that 15-second fast-forward button. You'll probably get through departures and arrivals starting now. Colts lost quarterbacks Nick Foles and Matt Ryan, wide receiver Paris Campbell, tackles Dennis Kelly and Matt Pryor, edges Ben Banogu? I'm going to say Banogu. And Yannick Ngakoue. D-lineman Byron Cowart. Linebacker Bobby Okereke. Cornerback Brandon Fassion. And Stephon Gilmore. They lost safety Rodney McLeod. Punter Matt Hack. And kicker Chase McLaughlin. They added quarterback Gardner Minshew. Tight end Farrell Brown. Wide receivers Isaiah McKenzie and Ashton Doolin. D-lineman Taven Bryan. Edges Samson Ebumekam. And Tyquan Lewis. Linebacker EJ Speed, what a name! Kicker Matt Gay, and in the draft they added Anthony Richardson in the first round, quarterback out of Florida. Round 2, Julius Brents, cornerback Kansas State. Round 3, Josh Downs, wide receiver North Carolina. Round 4, Blake Freeland, tackle BYU. Adu Tamoa Adebarwe, defensive tackle Northwestern. My goodness.
That name would have kicked my ass.
Round 5, they did Darius Rush, cornerback, South Carolina. Daniel Scott, safety, California. Will Mallory, tight end, Miami. They added in the 6th, Asim Richards, tackle, North Carolina. Titus Leo, linebacker, Wagner. Sorry, I thought that was another person's name. And in round 7, they had Jalen Jones, cornerback, Texas A&M, and Jake Witt, tackle, Northern Michigan. I did not know there was a Wagner college dog.
It's Bobby Wagner. He started just for linebackers.
Wagner, you baby.
Wagner, you baby. All right, so the Colts open the season at home against the Jags. Then they play at Texans, at Ravens. 2 home games, Rams and Titans. At the Jags, 2 home games, Browns and Saints. At the Panthers, they play New England in Frankfurt. There's the Frankfurt game. They have a Week 11 bye week. Then they play Tampa Bay at home, 2 road games, Titans and Bengals. They play the Steelers at home. They play at Falcons, and 2 home games to end the year against the Raiders, against the Houston Texans.
Look, it's a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks don't win football games. They lost Jonathan Taylor. There's not a whole lot of good vibes coming out of Colts camp. So I'm going under.
Yeah, Jermaine's rant at the beginning, it might have convinced me that the Colts didn't get worse. They might have gotten a little better with Anthony Richardson. I don't trust him. I think he's a less accurate, less mobile Cam Newton. And for those of you who watched Cam Newton, that should scare you because Cam Newton was not accurate. Does this Colts team win 7 games? Absolutely not. So yeah, under. Do they win 6? Maybe. Probably 5. If you said the Colts team wins 5, then I'd say, yeah, they can win 5. Do they win 6? It would surprise me if they won 6, but okay. But they're not winning 7.
Yeah, they're not winning. They're not winning 7 games. It's not happening. In no world is that happening, especially when you don't have all-world tailback Jonathan Taylor for minimum first 4 games, right? They have a bye week. I believe the Colts have when's their bye week, Nick?
Week 11.
5? Week 11. Okay. Someone else had a week 5 bye week. Maybe it was Seattle. Yeah, dude, I don't think they're worse. They're for sure not any different than the 4-12-1 team, though. So, it'll be fascinating to watch. Anthony Richardson, though, over 700 rush yards, yes.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else?
I agree with you guys. Originally, probably about a month and a half ago or so, when I originally set my over-unders, I had them over. But that was before all this Jonathan Taylor stuff really started to go downhill. So I got him under. I guess the good thing for Anthony Richardson, especially being a running quarterback, is they do have one of the better offensive lines in the league. But so, yeah, it's over 700 rushing yards might hit, but it's going to be a learning curve, and I don't think it's going to be very pretty.
He's going to have more 100 yards of rushing than wins this year.
Eric,
this year's Justin Fields.
Say your funny stat out loud. Speaking of Anthony Richardson.
All right. So speaking of the Richardson and the Colts, Richardson's career completion percentage is 54.7%. He was in the SEC for 3 seasons at Florida, and he never ranked higher than 13th in the SEC for completion percentage. And there's 14 teams in the SEC. And that's who the Colts want to hand the keys to the city to.
Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson's a fine quarterback prospect. There isn't a ton of talent on that Florida team. All they do is underperform year in and year out. They can't get their coaching situation correct. And he's playing against the best defenses in football. I've seen worse quarterbacks get drafted higher than this guy. I mean, where was Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold taken? Like, Anthony Richardson was better on film than both those guys. Now, I mean, I'm also not saying he's going to win 7 games. So, like, take it with what it is. But I think Anthony Richardson is going to be real exciting. He's got a pretty deep ball. And Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce are, pretty good 1-2 punch for wide receiver for you. So,
I don't have it in front of me, but Nick, just cut your trap. I don't have it in front of me, but there's a stat that Michael Pittman was one of the worst deep ball catchers in the league last year. So it'll be interesting to see how that connects, considering Anthony Richardson's going to be going deep.
Well, I think it was a shock for Michael Pittman that Matt Ryan's old arm could get it out there. I think that's why he dropped it, because he was shocked the ball came to him.
Matt Ryan's pass rush clock was set to 1 second last year. That's why he was. It was
an auto eject.
My guy was hiked the football, took a step, and threw it. He was like, "I can't get
Mississippi.
hit. I'm too old. I can't get hit."
One Mississippi. Listen, all right. This is ridiculous to say for a number 3 pick. We know where his floor is. Where's his ceiling?
That's the thing.
If he develops and he gets with a good quarterback coach.
There's an interesting through line with this year, because like the Eagles lost both their coordinators. And so we're going to find out very quickly if those coordinators were actually as good as or was it just because the Eagles have One of the most talented rosters. So we're going to find out how quickly they are worth, and what's going to be fun to figure out. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have hopes for Anthony Richardson. Let's get into the last team, though. 3-13-1, fourth place, the Houston Texans. God, they were awful last year. And they're going to be awful this year. But they're building some things down there. Let's go ahead and get into their odds, Eric.
Yeah, so Super Bowl odds plus 20,000 to win the division, plus 800 to make the playoffs, plus 475 to miss it is minus 700. Their line as well has been set at 6.5, and to your point, Jermaine, they are the youngest team in the NFL.
Yeah, they traded away their incoming first-round pick for, man, was it edge rusher Will McDonald, or is he on the Jets?
He's on the Jets. They have Will Anderson.
Will Anderson, the BAM edge rusher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what they did. They paired their stud quarterback of the future, should he hit, with their stud D end of the future. And they paired them together to build up both sides of the ball at the same time. Now, trading their first round pick next year seems like a risky proposition with how they're going to finish. Let's go ahead and get into some of their departures and arrivals. So departures, they lost quarterbacks Kyle Allen, Jeff Driscoll, running backs Rex Burkhead and Royce Freeman, wide receivers Brandon Cooks and Phillip Dorsett, Chris Moore, tight end Jordan Akins and OJ Howard, guards Justin McCray, center Justin Britt, O-lineman AJ Cann, edge Rasheem Green, edge Agbo Okoronkwo, D lineman Mario Addison, linebacker Jalen Reeves Mabin, cornerback Tremont Smith, and safety Jonathan Owens. They added quarterback Case Keenum, running back Mike Boone and Devin Singletary, wide receivers Noah Brown and Robert Woods, tight ends Andrew Beck, Dalton Schultz, and Eric Tomlinson, tackles Greg Little, Lermy Tunsil, guard Shaq Mason, center Scott Quisenberry, edge Chase Winovich, D lineman Sheldon Rankins, Hassan Ridgeways, Corey Littleton, Denzel Perryman, cornerback Shaquille Griffin and Tavier Thomas, safety MJ Stewart, Jimmy Ward, and long snapper John Weeks. They added a lot of very good pieces.
They did that thing you do at the beginning of Madden when you start a franchise. You just browse free agency.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Like Devin Singletary, solid second back.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz, tight end security blanket.
Laramie Tunsil was in there, right?
Yeah, Greg Little, Laramie Tunsil, Shaq Mason, Scott Quisenberry. They fixed their whole offensive line.
Yeah.
Edge
with proven veterans.
They got Chase Winovich, Sheldon Rankins, Ridgeway, Littleton, Perryman, and Griffin. Those are all proven defensive starters in this league. They might be a nice little team, actually.
Man.
Competitive wise. I still think they lose.
No doubt. Jeez.
So in the draft, they added CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State, and Will Anderson Jr., edge out of Alabama. That's what was the second and third overall picks, respectively. In the second, they took Juice Scruggs, cornerback, Penn State. In the third, they took Tank Dell, wide receiver, Houston. In the fourth, they took Dylan Horton, edge out of TCU. In the fifth, they took Henry Tuo, linebacker out of Alabama. In the sixth, they took Jarrett Patterson, center Notre Dame, and Xavier Hutchinson, wide receiver, Iowa State. And in the seventh, they took Brandon Hill, safety out of Pittsburgh.
So our Houston Texans open with the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Then they play the Colts at home, at Jacksonville, home against Pittsburgh, at the Falcons, home against the Saints, a Week 7 bye week. Then they travel to Carolina, play Tampa Bay back in Houston, at the Bengals, 3 home games in a row. No international game. Pretty interesting. Cardinals, Jags, Broncos, 2 away games, Jets and Titans, 2 home games, Browns and Titans. And they end the season at the Colts.
Yeah, it's an interesting schedule from the perspective of Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud play twice, right? And then Bryce Young is going to play both those quarterbacks once this year. So that's I think that's set up kind of cool from that perspective. Nevada, any thoughts on this?
I think, like you said, Jermaine, it's going to be a nice little team. I like their defense, the pieces they brought in only with the draft, as well as signees. I think D'Amico Ryans will do a good job getting that defense to a good position. One of the things that I think is going to benefit them is their new offensive coordinator, Slowick. He's one of the branches of the Shanahan tree. So, and they're going to rely heavily on Damian Pierce. So,
Mike or Kyle?
Doesn't matter.
It's the same. It's Kyle, though.
Yeah.
He was with the 49ers. That's where – so D'Amico Ryans was also with the 49ers. So in him coming over here, he poached him on that move.
I know. I was just being honest.
So, yeah, I think it's good. I'm a little concerned for their schedule in December. It's pretty nasty defensive-wise. You got the Broncos, then you got the Jets, Titans twice, and Cleveland. That might kind of sink their ship for the season. But, yeah, I agree with you, Jermaine. They'll still be a nice competitive little team. 6.5. I still have them under 6.5, but I think they'll be a scrappy under 6.5. And then obviously no for everything else.
Yeah, here's my question that I have about this schedule. Again, I'll preface this by saying I think they go under. I don't have faith in CJ Stroud, but my thing is, do the big teams, they have enough talent on this roster, that do the big teams overlook Houston to then play, because the Ravens and the Jags and the Bengals and Denver and the Jets, they can have an off week against the Texans, and those 5 weeks won't affect them, right? But that's 5 wins for Houston if they have an off week. Or let's say they split it. They go 3-2 against those. What I'm saying is Houston can play with Tennessee and Indy in divisional games, right? So you split those right there. That's 2-2, let's say, right? Then they go 2-3 against the 5 teams I named that are kind of just looking really, because we say they don't do it in the NFL. They 100% do it in the NFL. Oh, we're looking past Houston, right? Or a loss to Houston doesn't matter. It's not going to derail the train. We're at 5-6 wins now for Houston. And then they have to play outside of the division: Pittsburgh, Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Arizona, right? Like,
not scary.
With the talent that you've named on this team, I know it's incredibly bold, but we're talking about a 10-win Houston team. I know it's incredibly bold, but they play the NFC South.
Yep. A division that can easily be won.
That being said,
at least compete.
Under.
Yeah.
9 games last year where the score was settled at 8 or less, right? So it would have been 1 score. They had to tie with the Colts last year, but they were scrappy in just about every single game. If everyone remembers, they took Kansas City, right? Remember they took Kansas City to was it overtime or they just lost?
They lost to them. They took Dallas to overtime.
They took Dallas to overtime, right? But they took Kansas City to the goddamn limit. No, see, Kansas City won in overtime.
Oh, and Dallas they took to the limit.
And Dallas, they should have had that dub. It's going to be another year of game football. Unfortunately, with the rookie quarterback, that's what's stopping me from picking this team to hit 7 wins. CJ Stroud would have to piece something together that is special, because I don't think rookie quarterbacks typically come in and have not first-year starters, talk about rookies specifically, don't come in and have a ton of success winning football games. D'Amico Ryans, first-year head coach, he may make a boneheaded decision or two in what are going to be some growing pains. I'll take the under, no to make the playoffs, no to win the division, and no to win the Super Bowl. Now, if one of you picked the over, I'd also say I fucking like it. Because I could see this easily being a 6-win football team, right? So my prediction for this Houston Texans team, right? CJ Stroud starts a little rough. Then he starts piecing it together with the wide receiver core of Robert Woods, John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson, right? And then he starts turning it on to close out the year. And the Texans are actually in the offseason a team that we're talking with hope and promise, where we could see them doing this X, Y, Z, and the other. And then they sign T. Higgins, and they have their wide receiver one.
Yeah,
I don't know what world I live in.
That's the one of Doctor Strange. That's the one universe where they win. Who am I to talk? I just described a scenario in which the Texans are a 10-win team. So I don't know what either of us are smoking.
All I said was they would win 6 games, but they looked better than a 6-win team, right? And CJ Stroud goes into his second year. They make a splash signing at wide receiver, and then Houston is from what we know, based on the departures and arrivals on this football team, that they're a trendy pick next offseason. Just remember this. When we're sitting here and people are talking about Houston Texans and they do X, Y, Z, I said it first. Because I think CJ Stroud's a good quarterback and people hate him for some reason.
So Houston Texans, Super Bowl 2026. Got it.
If they trade for what's his name, Jones from Kansas City, and they sign T. Higgins, let's go, bro.
Yeah. Right.
This is gonna be a real interesting division in 2 years. If Stroud and Richardson hit, we all know Levis isn't hitting. I hope the kid the best, but it's not sounding good.
Well, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee, so
enough said.
All right, so
it's weird.
All right, let's get into the props for this. We're running a little long, so we'll just go ahead and move quickly on this. So Anthony Richardson, over 2,800.5 pass yards and 16.5 touchdowns. I would say the under on the touchdowns personally.
I want the under on both rookie quarterbacks on everything.
Anything, Nevada?
Not for Richardson or Stroud, no.
And then you said you want both quarterbacks. So pass yards for CJ Stroud are 30, 50.5 and 17.5 passing touchdowns. I'm taking the under on both touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill over 37.5. Wait, does anyone want Ryan Tannehill props? I'm not
Absolutely not.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking the over on both. That's 40, 50.5 passing yards and 26.5 passing touchdowns. Can I interest you, gents?
I'll take the over on passing yards. That passing touchdown line is perfect.
I'm with
right.
Jermaine.
You want over on both then? Okay. Oh,
For
wait.
favor.
What should I put for
Navo?
Nevo. We'll put V over.
All right. I would like Travis Etienne over rush yards.
Okay. And 6.5 rushing touchdowns. Do you want that?
No, thank you. I did have Derrick Henry over. But since Eric's little nugget, I want to take Derrick Henry under.
For both rushing touchdowns and yards, or just yards?
Let's see. Let's see what rushing touchdowns he got. I under yards definitely.
9.5 rushing touchdowns.
I think he might even hit over. Yeah, I'll just take the under on Derrick Henry yards.
Okay, I'm taking the over on Dameon Pierce for both. It's 900.5 rushing yards and 5.5 rushing touchdowns. Anyone interested?
I'm with you, Jermaine. I'm also writing King Henry.
For yards or tutties? Both?
Both.
Oh, I gotta put VO. VO. Ooh, all right. Alec Pierce over 575 receiving yards. I'm going to stay away from that. Calvin Ridley, I'm smashing the over. 900.5 receiving yards and 6.5 touchdowns. You got the same thing, Nevada?
Sure do.
All right. And you, Nick?
I will take Christian Kirk overs.
Great pick.
Nick
well. Over. Yep. I'm going to take over yards for Christian Kirk, but not tutties. Dalton Schultz. Anyone want a Schultz line? DeAndre Hopkins, Evan Ingram.
Nope.
I'll go Ingram yards over.
Ingram yards over. All right. Michael Pittman. So for those listening, Ingram yards over 640.5 receiving yards. Michael Pittman, 800.5 receiving yards, 4.5 receiving touchdowns. It's so low, and I still can't bring myself to do it. I don't want a Nico Collins prop. Will Anderson, I'm not taking over 8.25 sacks.
I was about to say I'm going to take Will Anderson under 8.25 sacks.
It's probably a good pick. Josh Allen, 7 7/5, 7 3/4 sacks. 7/5. What the fuck is a 7/5?
7/5.
Josh Allen is a fantastic pass rush. I think they play a week. I'm going to go over on that one.
I'm going to go under.
Under?
Yeah, he has not had over. I mean, since his rookie year, he's declined a lot in sacks. 10.5 sacks his rookie year, and then the most he had after that was 7.5. I'll go under.
All right, Richardson, Stroud, and Anderson. Do you have them for any rookie of the year honors?
Nope.
All right, that wraps up the player props portion of that. Man, not a sexy division to say the least. At least in my opinion.
Not a very sexy division at all.
Is there any Tank Bigsby props?
There was not any Tank Bigsby props. It pissed me off because I was everything I've read says that dude might even take over the starting job or just have it they'll just split the role evenly. So we'll see.
That won't happen until next year.
Yeah, I mean, listen. This has if Richardson and Stroud play well, this has these later season games have the ability to provide a little bit of spark between rookie quarterbacks who are maybe fighting for playoff spots or something like that. If not, I mean, these are good. These last 4 weeks in the AFC South. When we go to the divisional schedule, it is going to stink to watch these.
The hope that can matter is that they're important in the division.
Right.
And that's the extent of the hope for sure. I don't got anything else for them. You guys got anything else for them?
No, sir.
But I agree with what Eric was saying. With
Nothing.
I think Tank Bigsby is a nice little name to watch. I don't think he takes the job till next year, though. I think because they're going to start him slow because that's how every head coach does. We're going to use the proven guy, and then they're going to realize, oh, this dude's actually good. And week 8, they're going to start using Tank Bigsby, and so it'll be very interesting to watch.
Is ETN even proven though?
Does ETN what?
Consider ETN even proven? Is he even proven?
I think so.
2 years since he's played 8 games?
He played a full season last year. And
Because his first year was the ACL or something, right?
Yeah.
He had Liz Frank. Liz Frank, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's only played 1 year. He played 12 games last year. And in those 12 games, he still rushed for 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns.
So Travis Etienne started 12 games. He played all 17. He started slow last year because James Robinson was – remember when James Robinson was –
good?
Nobody could understand why he was back from an Achilles tear and just getting 100 yards and a touchdown on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year, and now he's not on a team.
Yeah, that seems crazy.
That Achilles tear.
He's on the Giants now. He made the Giants roster.
They cut him a long time ago.
I just got cut today.
Did he just get cut?
Yeah, he was just cut today.
Oh.
Cut or release.
Jeez. Yikes.
Yeah, he's not even on a team, dog.
No.
Oops. Former 1,000-yard rusher, no longer on the team. No longer on any team.
Yeah, that's crazy. And not like he did early in his career. He's still early in his career.
Yeah, he had 1,000 yards his rookie year, dude. You guys got anything else for them? I don't know. Eric decided to say his funniest joke of the pod while he's not on screen, but he said James Robinson will join the Philly backfield soon.
Probably. They're collecting backs.
Probably so.
All right. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Podcast Room 303. I've been your host, Jermaine Cologne Mendez. This is my co-host, Nicholas Morahan. And as always, we have with us the EP. Special shout out Nevada for making it out this week. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.